It feels good to lie down. I'm really tired. But I'm gonna share with you a little bit what I've been doing today, and mostly yesterday. I've been reading Enchiridion, I think it is how you pronounce it, and selections from the Discourses of Epictetus. It's basically a how-to guide for Stoicism. Translated by George Long. And I can tell it's translated because it's like a very old way of speaking. It's like ancient. I'll just read one of them for you. Disease is an impediment to the body, but not to the will, unless the will itself chooses. Lameness is an impediment to the leg, but not to the will. And add this reflection on the occasion of everything that happens, for you will find it an impediment to something else, but not to yourself. Now, if you hear it just like that, how much of that did you understand? Unless you're very, very educated. I'd say it's kind of hard to understand, which kind of takes away the whole point of Stoicism, because it's a practice that, quote unquote, should be done by everyone who wants to find fulfillment in life. And if it's not accessible, then how? So I've been trying to understand what the hell these things are saying, because it's like I think there's like 53 guidelines to follow to be considered a practitioner of Stoicism, at least for Epictetus. But yeah, I'm trying to understand each principle they speak about here and reword it in a way that can be more easily understood. So like in the first one, of things, some are in our power and others are not. In our power are opinion, movement towards a thing, desire, aversion, turning from a thing, and in a word, whatever are our acts. Not in our power are the body, property, reputation, offices, and in a word, whatever are not of our own acts. I mean, like, if you go slow and read word by word, you can understand what it's saying. But rewording it to something like, what is in your direct control are your actions. So, the act of judging, or the act of progressing at something, the act of desiring something, the act of averting or avoiding something. Everything else is not in your direct control. Your body, your property, your reputation, and your position. Before you spend time doing something, ask yourself if it's in your direct control or not. If not, then don't waste time and focus on only what is in your direct control. Again, that's quite a mouthful. But it is simpler, I think. I'm gonna need your feedback. You tell me how much of that you understood. But I feel I'll just show you. Do not Is that mirrored? Fortunately, it is. But pretty much I'm doing... I'm typing up not a manual, but like a list of the principles to implement. Like, for example, that first one, that what I read to you was the explanation, but the title for that is focus only on what is in your direct control. So that's the rule to follow. And on this book, at least, it's not really clear what it is that you have to do when it talks about a specific principle. It mostly it mostly teaches you on how to understand the principle. But I feel like for any kind of manual or guidebook is to be an easy way for you to quickly look and be able to take actionable value from it without having to spend so much time trying to understand it. So, I mean, if it were only the list here, just read it to you. Focus only on what is in your direct control. Love something for what it is, not for what it means to you. Judge things to be fortunate. Be proud only of your direct achievement. Prioritize aspiration over entertainment. So, if you were to read any of these just like I did now, you would be able to roughly understand what it means. But at least you can understand what it is that you have to do. And just a small paragraph breaking down the options that you have. Let's see. Like in this one, prioritize aspiration over entertainment. The explanation here is when you aspire to achieve something, something else may entertain you. If what entertains you discourages you from continuing your aspiration, then you will feel empty and without purpose. If you prioritize your aspiration, then you will feel happy and passionate. So that's what I mean by breakdown. It shows you what the rule does and what happens if you don't do it. It's basic if-then logic. And I'm trying to keep the explanations as vague as I can, with no examples, so that it's faster to implement. So, like, it's pretty vague here, saying if what entertains you discourages you from continuing your aspiration, then you will feel empty and without purpose. It's understandable, but once you put it into a specific kind of context, say you're working hard on your studies, and because you wish to become a doctor, for example, and during a break you have the chance for being entertained with like a TV or show or something. The thing about pursuing something and being entertained by something is that both of those take time. So the idea here is that if if what entertains you discourages you from continuing your aspiration. So say if you watch that show, it's fine to watch it. It doesn't matter. But if it's so entertaining that you don't feel like you want to continue studying, then entertainment starts to affect you in a negative way. It's not even an escape. It just becomes a replacement. And over time, if you only focus on entertainment, then your life will be empty and without purpose. I think that's understandable enough. So, yeah, that's the consequence of not prioritizing aspiration over entertainment. I guess the best way to understand all of these rules from a Stoic manual is to treat them like an algorithm or even a matrix, where whatever it is that you are doing, you pass your decision through all of these rules, and if it checks every box, then it's a good idea to do it. Or whatever you feel, pass through all of these, and if it's a good idea to feel like what you feel or not. Even though that sounds weird, taken in the context of what all these rules are talking about, it's actually very useful on not to control what you feel, but how to manage what it is that you're feeling. Which is pretty important, considering that you can feel a certain way, but you don't know if you should express it or not, depending on a situation. I mean, if you're enraged, then it's healthy to express it, but not in the context of, say, this should be a really easy example. I'm having a hard time giving you one. I guess just during a lecture or in the library or something, because you start to disturb other people and make them feel negatively too. If you're a considerate person, that is no bueno. But yeah, that's how you would use a Stoic manual. Anyways, I'm rewriting all these rules. I think they're 53, probably. But the reason I'm doing this is to better manage my time for everything that I try to create in this case, because right now I'm focused on studying marketing and applying that concept on just about everything that I do. Right now I am building a marketing agency, and I've been trying to understand the different parts of a business, from lead generation to conversion to fulfillment. And a lot of the stuff here, you start to think about how to do it the right way, and it can get hard if you don't know what you're doing, which the solution is to, again, study more about marketing. But if you don't have the right kind of attitude, then whatever it is that you learn, you might be applying it in the wrong way. Like even here on this principle on Stoicism, focus only what is in your direct control. That is especially relevant for a marketing context where you don't. It's wrong to focus on broadening your reach to people who simply don't care about what it is that you offer. It's much better to reach out only to those who are already looking for you. And it doesn't make sense on taking those people who aren't interested and aren't interested in trying to convert them to people who are. It doesn't make sense. The only thing that you can control is who you're reaching to, and you cannot control if they are interested or not, but you can control who you're reaching to. So that means you can reach to people who are interested, and that's how business starts flowing. So focus only what is on your direct control. Don't worry about trying to get people interested. That's not what marketing is. Marketing is finding the people who are already interested and helping them find you. So do that. That's a very important step. If you do just that, you'll have a much better time with your conversions. Trust me. It works. And I guess I'll be sharing more of those Stoic comparisons for marketing. I already talked about yesterday how Stoicism is a required part in marketing. I won't even dare to say that's my opinion, because honestly, it's pretty hard to disagree with that fact. Because as soon as you really get into marketing, you start to realize how much of marketing geniuses the Stoics were. They're pretty much equivalent, if you know how to understand it, of course. So that's my role right now, blending those two seemingly separate worlds into one thing that we can all understand, relate to. Stoicism is about ethics. Marketing is about, in a sense, ethics with a specific purpose. So, very relatable. It can be done. And you will see, because I will show you. But for now, I will go to sleep. Toodaloo. See you tomorrow.